Welcome back to Peer-Guided DBT Lessons, provided by DBT Skills application Peers Helping Peers. This week's lesson, marked 2-7-1, in our Distress Tolerance module, we'll be examining pros and cons. Please keep in mind we are simply peers helping peers, working together to bring about more peaceful, constructive, and ultimately happier lives. The next part of our distress tolerance module is about thinking of pros and cons of tolerating or not tolerating a situation. To tolerate or not to tolerate. The end goal of this process is allowing yourself to work out and understand that the pros of tolerating a situation far outweigh the pros of not tolerating it. This can best be made clear by listing them and comparing them. The easiest way to do this is using a pen and paper. Draw 2 columns with a line halfway down making 4 squares. In the top 2 squares, you'll be writing pros of tolerating and cons of tolerating. In the bottom 2 squares, you'll be writing pros of not tolerating and cons of not tolerating. Another way to look at this is, what would you do if you chose not to tolerate the distress? Tolerating distress means to survive without making it worse. In other words, not doing a problem behavior. Not tolerating distress means attempting to escape in a way that adds to the problem. In other words, doing a problem behavior. Some things to think about when writing out pros and cons might include the long-term benefits of your actions, how good you might feel afterwards. Think of how bad you feel, the regret after acting on impulse. This chart aims to help you make an informed decision. Notice in this distress tolerance pros and cons example how there are many more pros for tolerating and cons for not tolerating. Seeing this in visual form should help you in making the decision to tolerate the distress, which can be done using other distress tolerance skills. It is important to get specific. Ask yourself, which skill or skills could I use to tolerate the distress? Which harmful behavior or behaviors do I have the urge to act on to avoid the distress? Pay attention to which answers relate to short-term benefits or long-term benefits, short-term disappointment or long-term disappointment. Ask yourself, is my choice in line with my goals? And remember, keep your focus on the light at the end of the tunnel. Next week in our peer-guided DBT lessons distress tolerance module, we'll be looking at urge surfing.